Hey guys, what is up? It's Fig Nukin Records here again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about some albums I really only have for one song. And this isn't saying the albums are horrible or anything. It's just like none of the songs maybe attract me enough to, buy that album usually. But there's like one song that I'm like, you know what? I like that enough. Grab this album up. So let's start out with some CDs I got. Starting out with, how about U2's Europa? Honestly, it's an okay album. I'm not the biggest U2 fan, but this album, what really gets me is The Wanderer featuring Johnny Cash, which is a really special song, I think. It's really awesome. If you guys haven't heard that, check it out. It's a great track. It's kind of like psychedelic Johnny Cash, I'd say. But, I mean, if you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. That's all I got to say. Next up, how about Rem Document? This album, I mean, it has some hits on here. It's the End of the World as We Know It, and I Feel Fine, of course. It's a big one. But personally, the one I get this for, because I honestly do not like It's the End of the World. I don't like that song that much. So I honestly just get this for the one I love, and the rest of the track, or the rest of the album just kind of seems like, I don't know, it kind of seems like boring REM to me, personally. I know some people probably love that album. I know it's one of their more popular albums, but just doesn't really do it for me, most of the other songs. But the one I love. So that's REM Document. Next up, how about Endless Wire by The Who? This is it's a fun one. Mainly because there's one part I really love about this album. Like one song I love. It's one of my favorite Who songs of all time, and the rest I just honestly couldn't care that much about. And the song I do really like, it's called It's Not Enough. Catchy as hell, just fun as hell, and I think that's really what gets me. I'm not a big fan of, I know at the show I saw The Who, they did Tea and Theater, and even still, I'm not a huge fan. Sometimes those live performances really get me though, but just not for me. Next up, Steve Vai, Alien Love Secrets. I do really like Steve Vai, but I'm not a huge guitar instrumental guy. I can't do that for too long. And this album really doesn't connect with me, other than really the intro track, Bad Horsey, which is one of his more popular tracks. Yeah, it just doesn't really resonate with me that much, other than that track, because that's kind of heavy and pretty mean sounding. So I actually really dig that track. And next up, how about Aerosmith, Permanent Vacation? Honestly, I really just like Dude Looks Like a Lady off here. A lot of the other tracks just don't resonate with me. Maybe if I give this more listens, it would, but I still just prefer a lot of the 70s Aerosmith over to this. Next up, a weird one. I don't know if it fits because it's more of a compilation album. But this is Vans Warped Tour 2013. And personally, I hate like all these bands. Or not hate, but just, I don't know. They've never connected with me. The Used they're okay, I guess. But the one that really gets me on here is Black Dahlia Murder. I would never thought they would have been on Vans Warped Tour, but I guess it fits kind of. And the song on here is Into the Ever Black, so that's pretty dope. But yeah, otherwise I'm not I wasn't a big part of that emo scene back in the day, so I can tell you I liked it. Next up, how about Iron Maiden, Virtual 11? This is a rough album. And of course, Bailey, I do enjoy him. He's a fine seeming guy, but personally, I think the only song that really attracts me on here the most is going to be The Klansman, which I think is an awesome Iron Maiden song. It's one of the best Iron Maiden songs. Top 100 probably. Wow, I don't know. Top 100, that's a lot of songs. Top 50 for me probably. I think it's a really fucking kick-ass song. Now let's get into the LPs we got here. Starting out with a bootleg, weirdly enough. So this one I'm kind of putting first, just kind of get it out of the way, because might not consider it one. But this is gonna be Black Sabbath, Steel City Schizophrenia. This album is not great. Ozzy sounds like shit on it. Not gonna lie. But the one thing I do really like on it is Gypsy, and I kind of feel the same way about Techno Ecstasy. I'm not a big fan of that album, but I think Gypsy's an awesome song. So uh, I think it kicks ass. Next up, how about T-Rex's Zinc Alloy and the Hidden Riders of Tomorrow. Long ass title. Really cool. Now I haven't delved too deep in this album, but honestly, from a couple listens, the only one that really gets to me a lot is I really like Painless Persuasion, V the Meat Hawk Immaculate. I think that's a really fun song. So, I mean, honestly, otherwise, I know this is kind of like their first flop album. I don't know. It's not my favorite, but I really like that song. That really resonates with me. How about this album here? The only album, another one. This is Alan Parsons, produced by him, which I love Alan Parsons. But honestly, the one song that gets me on here is, of course, the title track, "Year of the Cat." There's not much I ever find myself coming back and listening to on here other than that, which that song kicks ass. And how about next up? One of the big ones I think that a lot of people would have. How about Don McLean's American Pie and the song American Pie? Of course, classic. Big everywhere, I feel like. But, I mean, the song American Pie is just a rock and roll classic, I'd say. And other than that, I don't think there's really much that, attracts me on that album. But I'll go back just to listen to that, time after time. How about next up we get to Simon Garfunkel's The Graduate. I know this is a movie soundtrack, so it's kind of weird. But honestly, this is, as much as this is like seen as like an iconic soundtrack, honestly, all that gets me on here is the Sounds of Silence on here. But Mrs. Robinson's all cut up. A lot of these songs just aren't amazing to me, which kind of sucks, but I guess it is what it is. Next up, one that takes me back to my childhood, Lego Rock Band days. How about Steve Harvey and Cockney Rebels, the best years of our lives, and the song "Make Me Smile, Come Up and See Me." This song was like one of me and my sister's favorites to ever listen to actually, I don't want to say play because it's not really playing, but I guess whatever. We love playing "Make Me Smile." It was like one of the songs that just like kicked ass off of that, and it's a great song. But yeah, otherwise I'm not too much into Steve Harley, but hell, I know people find him a great artist, so I might be sinning on that one. How about this one? One that might also get me a bit bitched at. Mamas and the Papas. If you can believe your eyes and ears. Of course, I mean, you're going to know it's going to be the hit, California Dreamin'. Otherwise, I've never been a huge Mamas and Papas fans, but I know there are people that love them to death. Just not my cup of tea. Next up, one I got for simply the Frank Zappa. How about Alice Cooper's first album? Alice Cooper's first album, or I guess it's Alice Cooper Band's first album. Pretty's for You. And the one song that really gets me on here is, oh man, it's got like a weird name. Sorry, I'm blanking on it. Let's see. Something Cheerios or something like that. Swing Low, Sweet Cheerio. Sorry, I blanked out on the name there. But that's honestly the only song that I really find merit in on this album that I go back and listen to. Otherwise, I just think it's cool with the Frank Zappa tie-in. Not much else for me. Now, how about we bring up the worst Pink Floyd album ever? The Final Cut. I mean, the only song I like on here at all is Not Now, John. Because everything else just does not do it for me. I don't find it entertaining at all. I don't know. It's weird, but fuck it, I guess. I mean, Not Now, John is just a fun track. Next up, how about Zappa, Feeding the Monkeys at My Mansion. I really only do this for the title track, Feeding the Monkeys at My Mansion. Buffalo Voice and Secular Humanism are okay tracks, but man, this first Feed the Monkeys at My Mansion is like a cool ass Planet of the Apes style track, and I think it really kicks ass. But otherwise, I don't know. I don't really care about the second half of this album personally. It's okay. It's cool Frank Zappa, but I don't think it's worth supporting the Zappa family fund now with how awful they treat Dweezil and them. Excuse me, now. Finally, how about Neil Young, Crazy Horse, Zuma? This album, I kind of hate Neil Young. His voice is utterly fucking annoying to me. I hate it so much. But the one song on here, Cortez the Killer, I really enjoy. And honestly, I know there's a Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young song on here, but I honestly don't care that much for it. Like, not that it's not a good song. It's a good song, but like I don't think I would have bought a whole Neil Young album for one Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young song. You know what I mean? But otherwise, I think the Cortez the Killer is a really cool track. But I still think Built to Spill, or yeah, I think it's Built to Spill, really just does a way better version of the song overall. Like 23-minute long, really entertaining track. If you haven't listened to that cover of Cortez the Killer, I really recommend it. But that's going to be all for this episode today. Have a good one, y'all.